Welcome back to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
It is National Lutheran Schools Week. We are celebrating with Lutheran schools from all over the St. Louis area, but schools all over the country are celebrating National Lutheran Schools Week, and we are giving thanks to God for the wonderful gift of schools. Today, we have the pleasure of having students from Immanuel Lutheran School in Washington, Missouri, joining us in studio. Thank you so much for joining us, Immanuel.
Yeah, no problem.
This is going to be a great 12 minutes. I can already tell.
This is just in preparation for the interview. I could tell that this is going to be a fun crowd. So, and in full disclosure, we get to record with the students in order to have quality time with them after they present some wonderful music for us in chapel. So these wonderful saints shared some great music with us in chapel today, and which was now yesterday because this is being recorded and shared.
A weird time loop of digital media.
Time continuum. So let's go around the room. Let's introduce our friends from Immanuel Lutheran School in Washington, Missouri. Let's start over here. We have, is this Megan?
Yes.
Megan, what grade are you in?
I'm in 6th grade.
6th grade. Welcome, Megan. And next we have Olivia.
Yes.
Olivia, tell us, what grade are you in, Olivia?
I'm in 7th grade.
Wonderful. Glad to have you here. And up next, Ben.
Yep.
Ben, what grade are you in?
I'm in 7th grade.
Excellent. And Aidan.
Yes, that's my name.
Aidan, what grade are you in?
I am in 8th grade.
And Mr. Nick Hopfensperger is the principal at Immanuel Lutheran
Correct.
School. And what grade are you in?
I have been in the same grade for about 12 years now at Immanuel in Washington. It's been great to be in the same grade all the time. So.
Well, welcome. Glad to have you all here today, and thanks for being a part of the Coffee Hour. So let's start with Olivia. A fun question. Thinking back to, Olivia, how long have you been at Immanuel Lutheran School?
I've been at Immanuel since preschool.
Outstanding. So why did your family choose Immanuel Lutheran School for you?
My mom, when she was younger, went to Immanuel Lutheran her whole life, and she really enjoyed going there, so she wanted me to get a good Christian education like she did.
Ben, what about you?
My mom works at a public school in Washington, and she saw a lot of kind kids going through, and she wanted to find out what grade school they went to, and she found out that they went to Immanuel, and she wanted to send me there to get a good education like they did.
That's wonderful. And Aidan, you're in 8th grade now. Have you been at Immanuel your entire time?
No, I actually started going to Immanuel in 5th grade.
Aha. And why did your parents choose Immanuel for you?
My parents chose Immanuel for me because they wanted me to have a good Christian education and instill me with Christian values. I used to go to a public school, and they didn't feel like I was getting the education that they wanted me to have there.
Mm-hmm. And Megan?
My parents they wanted me to have a godly education every day and make sure I'm getting God in my life.
Awesome. Do you have a favorite subject?
Math.
Math. Yes. Who teaches your math class?
Mr. Hallian.
And what do you like about math?
Well, the funniness that he brings to the class.
Yeah. And Olivia, what about you? Do you have a favorite subject?
My favorite subject is science, and the teacher is Mrs. Dellert. She's really nice. She doesn't give us too much homework to stress us out too much. And it's a fun class, and we're doing like a project on volcanoes, making the 6 different types of volcanoes, and it's been really fun.
I didn't know there were 6 different types of volcanoes, so apparently I need to go back to school.
Yeah.
So, Olivia, of the 6 different types of volcanoes, do you have a favorite? I know this is like a pressing question, isn't it? Everybody wants to know. Or which was most interesting to you?
Probably the composite volcano, because it was more fun to make because it was like a full volcano, and you could just make it look like there was lava coming out of it, and it's just very interesting because it's just...
So not only did you get to learn about them, you got to make volcanoes.
It's like a rite of passage.
I do need to go back to school. All right, Ben, what's your favorite subject or class?
My favorite subject is math because I really enjoy our teacher. He is good at doing his job. He makes sure everyone knows what they're doing before they do their homework. He's good at explaining things, and I've always done good at math. I've always been pretty good at math.
And who is your teacher for math?
Mr. Hallian.
All right, so I think Mr. Hallian's
He's got 2 votes.
He's got 2 votes. He's getting some bonus points here today. Extra credit for Mr. Hallian. All right, Aidan, tell us about your favorite subject.
My favorite subject is, like Olivia said, science.
Aha. And so what are you learning in science right now?
Right now in science, we're doing chemical stuff like the chemical equations and learning about atoms and stuff like that.
Great. And who teaches your science class?
Miss Dellard again.
Excellent. So you all have we didn't ask Mr. Hopfensperger.
Oh,
Mr.
man.
Hopfensperger.
For me, my favorite
What's your favorite
class-
subject?
My favorite subject has to be geography. It's the one class that I teach. So I teach 5th, 6th, and 7th grade geography, and that's probably one of my favorite ones. I did teach religion as well. That's actually one of the more favorite subjects that I've taught in the past. Taught 4th grade and 5th grade religion in the past, and just seeing the kids open up with their faith and really start making it personal, taking it from the faith of their parents and internalizing it as their own personal faith. I really enjoyed that.
Which is a great point. When do you learn about Jesus in your day at school? When do you hear the Word of God, and when do you learn who God is in your day throughout your school day? So let's go back over here to Megan.
I like to, it's like every day and like every moment, because no matter what, like if we're misbehaving, the teacher, it's a lot.
She freely admits it. That's nice.
Open and honest.
when we're misbehaving, the teacher obviously gets us in trouble, but then she'll show the grace of God just by giving us grace sometimes.
That's great. Aidan, what about you? When do you learn about Jesus during your day at school?
We have religion class periods and we have chapel services, but we learn about it in every class. In science, we talk about creation and how the world is different than some scientists will say. And in history class, sometimes we'll talk about, in our textbooks, it'll say millions and millions of years ago, and then our history teacher, Mr. Ekman, will say that we don't believe that, but he'll just continue on with the lesson and keep going that way.
And Ben, what about you?
Well, we learn about Jesus all the time. He is the center of our education because we learn about him in every subject. Yeah.
Olivia, what about you?
We have religion classes every day, and in 7th grade we have a confirmation class so we can get confirmed, and it's a fun class. We do this thing called Socratic method, and we all have 5 questions or something like that, and we all get to talk with each other about our questions on what we have about Jesus. And it's a fun opportunity to just get to talk with your friends about Jesus.
It's fantastic. Now, Mr. Hopfensperger, why did you choose to become a Lutheran educator?
When I was at Concordia University in Chicago, I had met my future wife, and she had asked what I was planning on doing with my life. And at that point, I really didn't know. I knew God had some plan, but I didn't know exactly what that would be. And she had encouraged me to take a first education class. She said, get into the classroom and see. I went into a middle school classroom, 6th grade. It was a geography class. I still remember the lesson clearly, guys. See? And that was where a door was opened, and God said, and made it very clear to me in my life that my occupation would be with children in school in some form or fashion, and opened doors and opportunities within the Lutheran churches and the schools, and it made that quite a reality.
So if you love geography, do you take your classes on field trips?
No.
Do you get to travel?
I will be honest with you, not so much for geography, but we did take a lot of field trips, internal field trips during religion class. We go over to the church, take a look at different symbolism and what the church.
We walked to the baptismal font.
Absolutely. So that's
Our little
probably about the furthest field trip that we do. Down the hallway, up a couple steps, and that was probably about it. But very insightful field trips, I would agree.
And today's field trip, you got to come to the International Center, learn with us today. So how have you seen, from your perspective as a Lutheran educator, how have you seen Lutheran schools like Immanuel make a difference for a student or for a whole family?
There is always, and Ben hinted at it a little bit, is when our students go off to high school, most of them would go to the public high school in Washington. They do see a difference. We always say they're protected in this little bubble at Immanuel, and that's not a bad thing. But our goal now is to expose them to some of the things that they will see, some of the things that they'll hear, and specifically in their faith development. And so we do a teaching of apologetics in 7th grade or in 8th grade, and we try to do that to further equip them for the next 4 years in high school and in college. That's really where we see huge growth within our students as well as they go off, and we still stay connected with them throughout the high school years, throughout college, as best we can, and find out how their life is going as well. But we also have an opportunity to walk through with parents who are going through situations at home that they just don't know where else to turn. And why would we not turn them back to Christ and to the faith as well that their students and their children are learning?
That's great. Do students have anyone you would like to thank? Anyone that has really made an impact on you during your time at Immanuel? Maybe your parents or a teacher or pastor. Aidan, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Mr. Hallion and Mr. Ekman for just always being there and being supportive whenever we need them.
That's great. Ben?
I want to thank all my teachers and my parents and everyone that has helped me throughout my school year.
And coming back over here to Olivia.
I'd like to thank all my friends at my school and all the teachers, especially Mr. Ekman, my literature and history teacher. He's really made a funny impact on my life and made me really happy just because he's so kind and funny and jokes around with us a lot.
Megan, anyone you want to thank?
My friends and family, like my family drives me around everywhere for like to do for our school, and then my friends just they go to different schools, but they stay, we're still friends.
And to our principal, Mr. Hopfensperger, do you want to thank anyone?
Absolutely. I want to thank our families. They really pull everything together and allow us to have a great ministry, entrust us with our kids almost 40 hours a week. If you're in sports or before and after school clubs, we see you probably more than your parents see you. So our families are an integral part of the ministry that we do, and entrusting them to our care, that's awesome.
Immanuel, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Immanuel Lutheran School, Washington, Missouri, for being our guest on the Coffee Hour today.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
I'm Eddie Bates.
I'm Sarah Golseth.
The Coffee Hour with Andy and Sarah is a production of KFUO. To support the Coffee Hour and KFUO Radio, visit KFUO.org. You can also text KFUO to 41444 or send an email to gifts@KFUO.org. And you can call us at 800-844-0524. KFUO. Christ for you, anytime, anywhere.